Welcome to the fourth episode of the Let's Build series, in which I want to start a quarter, or basically build a whole quarter with you. In the previous episodes, what we did was to build this house on the left here and start the frames for the house that is leaning against it from the right hand side. And in this episode, what I want to do is to finish the walls of this building and the floors, of course. And instead of starting the third building here in this episode, what I want to do is afterwards, after I finish this building, to start and tell something about what I planned for the rest of the quarter. So basically, I'm gonna go a little bit into detail how I've planned things out, aside from just building the buildings themselves, but also from planning out the rest of the quarter and where something should be, some things where they shouldn't be. So yeah. Let's just get started. So basically, I will take another material for the walls on this building than for this. So I won't take wool, just to get in some variation of the builds. As I told you in the previous episodes, and as you can see here, I used very much different, many different materials for the buildings. Just to get a nice randomized look all over the city. As you can see, there's some clay, and here's some cobble. What's this? I always tend to forget the name. Stone bricks with stone in it, and then again wool and stuff like that. So we want to have the same look all over the city. So basically here as well. So we have to figure out what kind of material we want to use. Since we have kind of these archways here out of stone bricks, I don't really want to use stone bricks up here because that will look too monotonous, but I kind of want to use stone for the rest of the building. So it's going to be a stone building, and I'm going to use cobblestone for that. The reason for that is simply because cobblestone brings in a darker texture than the stone brick, and therefore I think it looks better if the building does not use the same materials than like the archways. So basically the walls are going to be pretty easy. I'm just going to fill them in, then I'm going to randomize them afterwards, of course. I think I want to have window here and no window here, but maybe a little window here. This side can be closed off, and this panel here I will leave this free because, as I told you in the previous episode, I want to have another building, a quite tight building here on this side, a narrow building that is connected on one spot to this building, so that you're able to get up here. Because our problem was, of course, that since we have this archway here, we don't have really an entrance to this building here. So yeah, we need to leave that free for another door, but the rest is going to be the same. I think I want to have a window over here. Let's just put it in the center, and then another window here, and the rest is also going to be stone. There's probably going to be something leaned against this side, so I'm not going to think about putting a window here. Well, I thought about it, so I discarded the thought. Okay, that should be enough, and now I'm gonna just randomize it a little bit. Of course, it's gonna look a little bit different in the ending. Sometimes I even tend to rework whole buildings after the next building stands right next to it, because only if you have a certain amount of buildings right next to each other, you get a real good impression of what the whole quarter will look like in the end. And basically, if you have to simply change things or specific details on buildings, because they might look weird if you combine them with, well, too many different kinds or too little different kinds of details on different buildings. So basically, what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to randomize this here anymore. Some missing bricks here, and yeah, okay, let's just add one more here. Okay, and then I can already take window panes and fill them in, and that will be it for the walls so far. And then we just move on to the inside and make the floors. And for this first floor I'm not going to use the slabs as I do normally for the rest, but since we do have this this passage through here, I'm going to use full blocks, otherwise of course you will end up with a gap between that, and you can't fill this gap to make it look prettier. But what I'm going to do is to go down here, and then I'm going to take stone brick slabs and I'm going to put them here, so we at least cover the planks themselves. I kind of like the look that you get by seeing a little bit of the crossbeam here, but we can even think about maybe, yeah, I think this looks better. This looks more finished if we do it like this. And then we can also do something like here maybe. No, this would look stupid. Okay, then I'm just gonna leave it like this, and as I said, I tend to use different kinds of buttons to put on different kinds of buildings. So, whoops. So on this one I'm gonna place a little more wooden buttons, because the whole building, or the walls of the building, are made out of stone. So what I'm doing is to have less stone on these things, so simply to draw your attention more to the walls than to the outsticking parts, because if I were to go like this makes a total different impression of the whole building, because it's just, well, a lot darker. Well, not a lot, but it's simply a different impression that you get from the building. Oops. I do hope that you kind of understand what I'm going for when talking about these kinds of focus thingies, where to put the focus on the building on it. FMT Minecraft, Time from FMT Minecraft, did a video about colors of different building parts, and which colors to use in which combinations, and when to use darker parts and lighter parts on walls. It was pretty well described what he did, so there's going to be a link in the description to that. And yeah, okay, so now we're done with this building, so you can see that this kind of the buildings are kind of fusing into the building to the right or to the left respectively. And basically what I'm going to do in the next videos is to also build, of course, a few more houses, so that it's always different variations. So no house in... I do think no house so far from the region that I built, and it's been quite a lot, looks even remotely like the next one. So that it's very, very a very, well, easily varied style. Okay, but enough about that. So the building is done. Wait. Sorry, it's not completely. I'm just gonna bring in some randomization here as well, and again I like to place cracked stone bricks at places where it makes sense. So basically here there would be a lot of pressure coming from the house on this archway here, so it makes sense to put cracked stone bricks somewhere in the vicinity of, or even into the archway. And I think that should be enough. We shouldn't do too much. And now I'm gonna just take a look at what I'm going to do for the rest of the quarter. So basically the street is gonna continue, and I was thinking about having it go up this one layer here and then down here again, and then it's gonna go down here and make a slight turn so that we kind of go around here, so that there's kind of a building standing here almost in the way of the street, so that you have to take a turn around it. Simply to bring in some variation and not to have like a street where you stand here. It can be nice to have a street where you can see through to the other side, but I tend to like to have things when I stand here and I take a look down the alley of the houses that will be on the left and right, that at sometimes there is something, well, an obstacle that you can't see through, and this is going to be the building right here. And also, I think it will be a good idea to build a well over here, because something I did was in this new city layout to place wells at different positions all over the build. For example, over here is a well, but because it's quite important for pretty much all the inhabitants of this area to have, well, a good a good accessibility of water, I tend to put like down a well every 50 or 100 blocks or something. So I'm just gonna, for the streets, first of all, I'm going to use a brush, and then later on I'm gonna just kind of randomize it a little bit more, or structurize it more. That's more like it, because it's too randomized if you place it down with a brush. So of course I'm using World Edit, and then I'm going brush, cylinder, and then I'm just gonna go with 40% of double stone slabs, and then 30% of gravel, and probably 20% of smooth stone and 10% of cobblestone. So these are the codes for them, the item IDs. And then we're gonna go with a radius of 4, and then I'm gonna just gonna mask the grass, so that I'm only randomizing the grassy ground here. So I'm just gonna go and continue this here. It's gonna go something like this, and then, as I said, I'm just gonna go down here, and notice that I still, even though I know in which direction I want to go, so basically up until there, I'm still not gonna make a straight road so that it's a straight line, but I'm still gonna make it like a little bit of squiggly line-ish. So then I want to go down here, and it's gonna go around here, then it's gonna go back here. So this is gonna be the part where the building is gonna stand up in our way, and yeah, I think this will be a good position for the well. I'm just gonna put something here so that I notice, or that I remember that there's gonna be a well, and that should be, first of all, enough. Maybe we can make a gate somewhere, because I like to have just a kind of defense. Just like a defense ring. It's not like there's, or no, that would be actually, it would be quite nice. Okay, so at the end of the quarter, so wherever I'm gonna stop making this this Let's Build series, I am going to make a little gatehouse, simply to close off the quarter, so that we can see that is actually, that this is the quarter. Now I'm in the quarter, and if you go walk through it, then it's not, you're not in the quarter anymore. So yeah. So basically what I'm going to do for these things is now and that's easier done by giving myself this block. I mean, it's kind of, now it's completely randomized, and I don't want to have these the stone slabs at the edges, so they should only be in the middle. I'm just gonna do this with a brush as well. But there tends to be, if you use a brush, there tends to be too much randomization going on. So basically, it just places them in such weird spots from time to time. Like this is completely weird here. So I'm just gonna break this off a little bit. But maybe, well, great. Now I threw away the other block again. There we go. I'm gonna go like this, maybe even like this. This is just trying different things out. It's just a feeling that you kind of get for the randomization, or basically this is a feeling that I have for the roads that I like. Maybe you completely disagree with my placement of the blocks, but yeah, I'm just gonna go about it the way I like it. So, and I'm trying to explain to you simultaneously why I'm doing these things. So this is just something that I do if the street drops down or well moves up a layer or something. I'm just gonna think up a pattern that isn't just a straight line, so it kind of looks a little bit messy. I'm just gonna go around and add 1 or 2 blocks to each row, and after that I'm just gonna change the materials so that it's not just stone slabs. And I'm just gonna do it with this over here, and then we should be about done for this episode. There should be enough to let us plan the rest of the quarter properly. No, this looks too balanced. Yeah, that's better. And okay, that's it. Now I'm just gonna go like you can see here. So basically, I'm just gonna use different kinds of stairs and slabs in order to break this off a little bit. So for example, to round off this corner here, I'm just gonna place a stair like this, and then I'm just gonna put down a few blocks, maybe even one more here, and then slabs and another slab here and there. Yep, that should be alright. And then sometimes what I like to do is even to cut like a block off here and do it like this, so that there's actually something missing here. I think sometimes it makes for a nice detail and a kind of destroyed look, just as well as I sometimes tend to just take a cobblestone block and place it like a cobblestone stair and place it like this, so that there are actually like road bumps, or basically well, holes in the road. And I think I'm just gonna do it like this here, just to round off some corners, not all of them, but sometimes it's nice to just have an uneven corner here. So basically this looks a little bit thicker now. And I'm just gonna place a few more blocks here and there. So you can see that there's not really a pattern that I'm following in order to make these. It's just kind of a balancing act. Here, and maybe a stair here to make this gap a little bit shallower. There's something here and there, and a little bit, well, maybe two here, and this one here. No, this is nope. I'm just gonna put one back here. Alright, and now the last thing I want to do for this road is once again to take a brush and a cylinder for let's just take 4. Basically, what's gonna be 60% 4 and 40% 2. Whoops, 40% 2. So 60% of cobblestone and 40% of grass. And with a radius of 3, now I'm just gonna mask 43, so the stone slab blocks, and then I'm just gonna place it carefully here to replace those blocks at the edges with different kinds of with these blocks that I just, whoops, that was too much, with the kind of block that I just defined, just in order to make the street a little bit, it's also not nice, just to make the street look focused in the middle, so that you can actually see that there's only those stone slabs in the middle of the street and not everywhere. It makes of a nicer look, so that the road is just kind of broader at the sides, just because it was the terrain was trampled down, right? And what I like to do, why I'm mixing grass into this, is because it makes these it tends to make these patches of grass in the roadside, which will make the whole thing look a little bit well, better in my opinion. Just simply, it's a little bit more of a variation on the sides of the road, a little bit more of a randomized pattern. So basically just go like this. So it takes just certain parts out of it, and for example here this is way too straight, this thing. Just gonna add it like this. And this should be enough. I'm just gonna add a little bit more here maybe, and one standing out like this, and then this should be enough for this part of the road. So basically now we have a little bit of a clue what we're going to do here. We have like a squiggly road going on. So I think yeah, this should be this episode. In the next one I want to continue building this house here, and maybe for this next house, well, the frames for this building will be quite easy to make, because it's just such a narrow building. And for this building, I kind of want to make something special for it, just not to have just simple houses everywhere. So I don't quite know what exactly I'm gonna do then. Maybe it's gonna have an enormous overhang, or we're just gonna make an archway. Well, the house's walls will be here, and then there's going to be an archway like here, so that we can make, or we can add, yeah, that we can add something here, or maybe we're just going to make nice market stall, like whatever. This is a bakery and they're selling bread on the outside, something like this, so that you can have actually a use for another building here, and that it's not just a building where somebody lives in. Okay, but I do think that's about it. So as always, I do hope you enjoyed watching this video, and as always, please rate, comment, subscribe, join the crew, become a mate today. Do as you will, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.